how's the shiner going?
Yeah, it's not too bad. Obviously, caught one on the weekend, but good to go this week.
It'll be a tough one early, but Tom Jonas getting a week for the bump on you. How did you see that? Do you think that was fair?
Look, it's not my place to really say. Obviously, it did cut me high, bit of head-on-head collision. So at the end of the day, it's up to the MRO, and it's their choice.
When you pulled up from it, have you pulled up from it?
Yeah, I feel fine. Passed all the initial tests, and then did one yesterday and passed all that. So yeah, fresh as a daisy.
When you cop like a bump like that on the field, where it's the head clash kind of hits you and they don't actually get you with the shoulder and the head, and it's a bit, in some ways, accidental. Is that how you feel when it happens at the time? Is there like animosity towards the player that's got you, or when there's a head clash, do you kind of go, oh, he didn't really kind of need to get me, it's unfortunate?
Well, to be honest, I didn't actually know. When it happened, I didn't know who hit me. I didn't know what he got me with, elbow or head, or what it was. So it was only until later I actually realised what actually happened. But yeah, at the end of the day, he probably didn't really mean to get me high. So it's a bit on him.
You're able to shake it off and play a career best game. How do you feel after being able to kind of hit the scoreboard and having a real big impact?
Yeah, it was a different role for me playing up forward. Something new, something fresh, which is pretty exciting for me. Sort of went in there pretty open-minded and managed to kick a few. But at the end of the day, we didn't get the win which we were looking for.
Are you hoping to stay in that forward role now?
I'm pretty open to anything, whether it's forward, mid. As long as I'm playing AFL, I'm pretty happy.
When you were a junior, you kind of used to push forward a bit while playing in the midfield, but you never really spent a lot of time actually coming out of the forward 50? No,
it was always, sort of that mid-forward rotation. Little bit 5-minute hints there, here and there up forward, but now that I'm playing out of the square, I actually sort of like it.
How long has that kind of been on the radar for you? Is it like a personnel thing at the moment, or during the pre-season was there talk that you might play more forward?
There was a bit of both. Obviously, we've lost a few boys, but I have been training it throughout the pre-season, so it's not all sort of raw talent, know a bit of craft and whatnot, but there's plenty to work on.
Is there anyone in particular in the forward line or from the coaches that's really trying to kind of help you with that forward craft at the moment?
Yeah, our forward coach Webby, he's been pretty big for me, especially just little things you don't really sort of go unnoticed, and little craft techniques that I'm working on this week.
Any players that kind of have played a similar kind of role to what you're trying to play in there that you can kind of learn off?
I suppose there's Yowie. Yowi's injured at the moment. Yowi's played a bit of forward. He likes to go deep, and he's one that I can sort of pick his brain a bit.
Are you a chance for the rising star, do you reckon, this week? Or did Jackie Van Rooyen maybe keep with that performance?
He had a good game, didn't he? Look, I don't know. At the end of the day, it's just something little.
You obviously lost luxury on the weekend. What's it like when your skipper goes off at half time?
Yeah, it was good to have him back. He was a real leader for us. But yeah, unfortunately he went down. Not too sure what the go is this week. Hopefully he gets back up. But yeah, he's moving well.
Obviously Carlton this week as well. Pretty tough ask. They've got some great midfielders. What's kind of the challenge that you're looking forward to there?
Well, Carlton's a pretty good side. Saturday night game, which will be pretty good. All the boys are pumped this week. We're all going in pretty positive and open-minded and ready to go this week.
You've had some pretty interesting tasks for the first part of the year, playing on some gun midfielders as well. Kind of, are you just treating? Obviously, you want to win games of football and you want to play your best, but is this a real kind of learning year for you, trying to learn off some of those players you're playing on and learning different roles and things like that? Yeah,
it is. I sort of find that pretty beneficial. I played on Oliver, I played on Dangerfield. Took plenty of learnings out of there, and last week played forward. So yeah, just trying to grow and get better and better each week. Sort of trying to adapt to the AFL level and standard pretty quickly, and going in with more and more confidence each week.
What kind of things are you learning from them? Is it where you move to get the ball? Is it what they do at stoppages? Like what kind of things are you kind of picking up from those guys? Yeah,
pretty much everything like that. Stoppages, Danger's pretty quick, so he's light feet. Oliver is just so clean, racks it up. So you can sort of pick different things from different players, and sort of loving it at the moment.
How are you adapting to the 4-goal haul? What does that do for your confidence in terms of feeling like you belong at this level?
It's definitely a confidence booster, but it's one game and I'll have to move. You sort of sit on it for a day and then it's always next week. So I'm not really living in the past. I'm sort of focusing on this week and Carlton ahead.
I think is it Nick Cox was your coach?
Yeah.
Coming through when you got picked up in the mid-season draft, he kind of said you'd thrive on being in a club that might be struggling at the moment in terms of on-field performance. How have you found it now that you're kind of a year into it almost and you've been playing an uphill battle and you're struggling every week and it seems that you're having a lot of losses? How are you trying to find your feet at the top level when the team is really struggling to compete at times?
I'm getting these opportunities to play each week, so I'm pretty grateful for that. But at the same time, we want to win and we want to win games. So, look, we're trying to do our best and, each week we're going in pretty positive and that we can win. So, we should sort of look at it like that.
Shannon Hearn's a chance to come back this week. How good would it be?
Yeah, it'd be good to have Bunga back. Hopefully, fingers crossed he'll get back. I'm sure he will. So, we'll have to wait and see for that.
You're obviously mid-season picked up last year. How have you had much time to reflect on almost your first full year at the AFL level?
Not too much now that we're sort of in season. Footy's pretty full on, so not really too focused on what I've done in the past. Sort of just next week and the future.
Obviously, just around the corner from the mid-season draft. What has your experience been? Are you an advocate for that and getting that opportunity? Obviously, it's a little bit different from coming into the system with a lot of young guys together.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm an advocate. Obviously, I came through the mid-season draft, so any opportunity for boys to get picked up and get in the AFL system, I'll put my hand up for. So, mid-season draft is another opportunity. SSP, different sort of drafts at the end of the year, not the national draft. It's good for boys that miss out or boys that are late developers. I think, it's been pretty beneficial, especially for me.
Can you elaborate on some of those benefits and why you feel it might have suited you better?
Well, I was a late developer, so my 18 is my draft year. Didn't speak to any clubs. I missed out on that draft. So realistically, if I didn't have the mid-season draft, probably wouldn't have got picked up. It would have been a lot harder. Tim Kelly is another one who missed out on his draft year. It took him 3 or 4 years to get into the system. So, the mid-season draft is something that boys that are overage or even older that are, can look at to get into the system.
Dom Shee was also training out there today, doing a fair bit.
Yeah.
How close is he and how big an impact will he have when you can get him back?
Yeah, I think he's pretty close. Hopefully he's back 1 or 2 weeks. He's a really good midfielder and someone that is definitely going to add to the team when he comes back in. So, can't wait for him to come back.
Yeah, it might be a tough one because you've only been here while the club struggled a little bit on the field, but obviously when the team's struggling, there's always pressure on the coach and people like Adam Simpson. How have you found Adam, from your standpoint as a young player when the team is going through somewhat of a rebuild, how have you found him personally coaching?
He's been really good. He's been probably the most positive person at the club. He's been really getting around the boys and all the young boys really like him and he sort of really motivates us each week, even if we're losing. I always come into the game pretty confident, up and about that we're going to win the game. So, he's a good coach and hopefully many more years to come.
Are you enjoying playing with a lot of the young blokes you mentioned in the side at the moment?
Yeah, loving it. I think, all us boys are just loving bringing the energy and it's good that we can sort of all play together. I know a few of the young boys have done injuries like Huey and Longy, Hoffy, but the boys that are in there, Truey and all the other Lukey Edwards, they're all loving it and can't wait to play with each other for the next few years.